Just like that. And let's see if we can get this turkey off the ground here. And good evening, everybody. Happy Pi Day 3.1421. Nice to see all of you tonight. Let me make sure I'm on live chat here. Yes, we are going out the other side. Shimei, how are you, sweetie? The queen of Lawrenceville, the mean streets of Lawrenceville, New Jersey, checks in tonight. How are you doing tonight, Shimei? Good to see you, Mew, and Ronnie, always in quick. Hector, what's going on with you? Yeah, should I put my flower in tonight? I don't know. Last time I tried to do this, I almost poked my eye out. There we go. There we go. How you doing, Leah? There's Rolf. Good to see you, Rolf. How you doing? Yeah, happy Pi Day. Hello, Penny Pincher. I remember before we had Pi Day. I don't know. Nobody even thought about it 20 years ago. Hello, Sandy. Hello, McDave. 3.1415. The diameter of the circle. What, the circumference of a circle is 3.1415 times the diameter of it. What a nice thing to know. Hello, Eve. Wade Bowen fans had me a deep dish Chicago pie for Pie Day. Hi, Watch. How you doing? Hello, Mary Ellen. It's nice to see the Rose of Santa Rosa. Hello, Joni. It's been nice to communicate with you. Hope that you are doing well, and I hope everybody's having a good night. I worked till about, I guess about 6 o'clock or so today, trying to squeeze my last hours in. I've got one day, hi Patsy, I've got one day to finish up, try to get what taxes I can out of the way and then get on the road. Where's my stimulus check? Right, where's my stimulus check? Hello, Dreamcatcher. You know, I was lazy. The first stimulus check I never registered with the bank, and as a result, to link it, I waited like almost 6 weeks till that paper check came. I didn't. The second one kind of surprised me. It snuck up on me. I got a card with a little flag and an eagle on it, and I had to go through all the pain in the ass with Bank of America to download that into my bank account. So I guess I'll get the same thing this time. Happy Donut Day! Hello, Amanda, and we got Lippin here, and Sheila, and Dreamcatcher, and the lovely Lucky Beans has made the scene tonight. Good to see all of you. I was up early today, as many of you saw on my morning upload. I got home and did a rather short upload on that. I've now officially suspended looking around for an additional van to upgrade to for a conversion van. So I'm not going to dwell on a lot of that. The market here is tough. The market here is expensive. And I think it's probably much more expensive than the rest of the United States. And I'm just looking at buckets of junk that have 200,000 miles, and you're going to go about 100 feet out of the driveway where you purchase it, and the damn wheels are going to fall off of the thing. Rolf said still haven't received any stimulus check this go round or forever, Rolf. Which is it? Because I've had my super chats have not been on since March 1st. Thank you, YouTube. They've told me it can take anywhere from early April until May to get my problem resolved. I said, I don't care how long it takes. Just get it fixed once and for all so every March I don't have to go through this nonsense. And it's okay. Rosie's a working gal. I don't pin my life and my finances on YouTube. I can tell you that. I'm glad I never did, right? I know, Rolf. Well, it's in the works, but during pandemic times, which continues out here in California, it is what it is. Try getting anything done with YouTube these days, and it is a supreme PIA, pain in the ass. What do you think about us super guys? I don't know, Luke. What do you think about it? Wells Fargo Bank is holding up many until Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's happened a lot of times to me. Lucky Beans, it's fine. I mean, I told him this time, why don't you just take your time and get it fixed the right way? Okay, because I'm still fully monetized overall. I still have my AdSense. I'm still fully monetized on the Rosie Murphy channel and all that. So I'll be doing some content over there too. Just started a little jewelry biz, so I'll have to send you something. Well, aren't you sweet? I'm glad it's going well. RVs are shit new, old, or van prices are never coming to get a nice car and enjoy a night at a hotel. Oh, here we go again. See, same thing is happening to all people across the YouTube. I don't know, Streamlabs is just replaying all of these old text-to-speech things that are coming up on here. I don't know, it's just... where do I start? Well, let's start with the song, Where Do I Begin? To tell the story of technological screw-ups. Week in, week out, they screw me to the wall so that I take a big fall. It's life on YouTube. It's life on YouTube. I'll tell you something else. Streamlabs disaster. I was watching Ice Poseidon, one of the real pioneers of IRL streaming, in real life streaming today, on my breaks and stuff. And he's trying to gamble his way to New York City from Austin, Texas. And it's kind of funny. He's had the same situation coming up. All the older chat donations are replaying all the time. So it's a total pain in the ass. What's up, Jody? How you doing? Gold or silver, dude? I like gold. I think gold goes. I love gold and silver. You guys know my favorite teeny weeny bikinis. I mean, people like to see the black. I like the gold, and I like the silver, and I like the red and blue. It sounds like I like every damn color, doesn't it? Doesn't it? But my favorite color in the world is blue, royal blue. So, but I do love silver and gold. Yeah, better keep. I turned off the alert thing, Nori, and I don't need that thing firing off all the time. Al is okay. He's just the jokester. What's up, Brian? I do not wear a mask. So it's kind of crazy that Streamlabs has all these interactive features, even to the point that if somebody's live streaming, they can include a real-time map in the picture that you see that actually sees their location moving down roads and things like that. But they can't get the simple stuff right, like being able to go live on a mobile device right now, which is ridiculous. So I'm doing good, Jody. Thank you. Lulu, thank you for your nice message, sweetie. Kitten Cat, the interest rate scare cleared out all the suckers. Been buying like a fiend. All right, Kitten Cat's in there rolling along, rolling along. When someone asks silver or gold, Rosie, hey, usually made jewelry. Well, I'm not a big jewelry wearer, but I like both of them. So silver and all that. So silver and gold. Well, Ice Poseidon's been down a lot. He's had his computer seized by the FBI. I mean, it's been a long trail of things, but I think he's been banned off Twitch. It's been a long road for him. But when you're always pushing the boundaries of content, things are going to happen. Okay, and he doesn't really now. He's understands that you really need some moderation in your chat. Yeah. And a lot of people, hey, Tattoo Crazy, and a lot of people are discovering, yeah, Missy, I hope you're feeling better. A lot of people are discovering in the last couple of weeks that Google is getting, and YouTube are getting very heavy-handed in terms of interceding in chats and things like that. So you wear necklaces, goof. Yeah, I know. I'm a goof. I'm a goof. See the abuse I take here on a daily basis. So Eve says, looks like a 1950s high 5-piece. This is a 1961 Motorola 21 tube stereo console, considered the Madmen version of the stereo consoles that were so popular in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Yeah, Burl Ives sings Silver and Gold, Silver and Gold, Silver and Gold. Laura Wright, what's going on? Moderation is great in moderation. I've said it before, have a good core of moderators and be stable with them, treat them with respect. Take care of them a little bit, care a little bit about what's going on in their lives, and they will open two-way communication with you, and they are trustworthy, dependable. They don't go off the rails and convert themselves into, hide their channels and wreak havoc with hidden moderators and rogue mods and things like that. Star Wars, natural gemstones, beach rocks, and agates. A glass of red wine time, those days of red wine and roses. Hey Doris, how are you? Continued positive healing vibes for the whole family over there. Motorboat me, put me in my place. Al, you're a crazy kind of guy, but for the most part, you're pretty cool in here and motorboating, right? So, unfortunately, the rain moved in today. Hello, Toodles, but it's supposed to move out quickly. I'm heading to, well, let me just wrap up with the van just to put a cap on that. Unless something falls into my lap from outer space or points closer to Earth, I'm pretty much hanging that up for a while on that so we can move beyond that. Hello, Susan. Oh, freak, aren't you sweet? Have you ever had a rogue mod? I've never had a rogue mod. April of 2021 will be 2 years since I've been going solo on YouTube. And as a result of that, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's a bit easier to stay on the straight and narrow because you don't have to worry about, panel chats going off the tracks and people getting offended and, chats splitting up and people doing their own thing. And I put out the call in April of 2019 for an initial core of moderators, and I had some gals step forward from the DC, the drama community that had been very used to being in the thick and in the fray of what it is to moderate and be in chats, and a couple of them I put in. Friend of mine, Mouse Toes, I've known her for years from the prepping community, and then we added Missy later on. I have some honorary ones, Kitten Cat here, who I've related very well to, and I have a lot of confidence in Kitten Cat. We don't have a lot of back and forth, but I have a lot of confidence in Kitten Cat. Then we have JK NoCal. And then we have Cyanide Cupcake, who comes and goes. I don't know what the hell. I think you guys think I'm a CIA operative. Oh man, I kind of wonder sometimes. Hello, Aaron. Good to see you. I'll get motorboated for fun. I love glitter. How you doing, sweetie doll? You were number 34 on the thumbs up. Thank you, Sheila. Jen will be around. So I've been very lucky. Missy Jen has pretty much moved on, but she still has a wrench. She's happy. She's doing her own thing. She pops in once in a while over here, and she will always have a wrench in the chat. But otherwise, it's been very, 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 very stable, and that's helped to promote a drama-free chat, which was always my goal. We'll never have the huge numbers here unless it's something controversial on the streets, but you know what? I kind of like it that way because I don't have to worry about getting those emails in the morning. How could you have let that happen on your channel? I thought we were friends and you let this person up and you let that person up, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm not the biggest Greasy fan. I think Rosie's a woman because of her soul. It wouldn't be my front end, would it, Al? Right? CCP sleeper cell. That's exactly what I am. the Chinese Communist Party, right? The sleeper cell here. As for anyone who's confused, Missy Jen and I, yeah, that's Missy, AKA. Leah said, Andrew Scott, he said he misses everyone. Okay, good. You know, I love Andrew. He had a death in his family, and yeah, I'm the Manchurian candidate. Yeah, Moxie says it's very consistent, and I love that consistency. You build people that like to come over. They know what they're going to get here. We talk about a lot of different topics. Sometimes we touch on politics, economics, health, all kinds of things. But we always have a good time. And I've really liked this 2 years that I've had, and I haven't had a lot of bumps in the road. I've had a few bumps with technical issues with YouTube that I've battled for 2 years. Technical issues with Streamlabs. And the thing that really blows me away about Streamlabs is their earliest editions of mobile streaming. Guess what? They worked great. Everything worked. There wasn't a problem. And every year that went by, they tried to do more and more crap, and they started to try to reinvent the wheel to the point that they've, you know, yeah, I might try tomorrow to see if they've got the bugs worked out. But you know, if you can go live on YouTube, what's the point of you know, the text to speech is great, but they'll get it figured out. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. I've been a mod and I've never seen an issue with the Rogue. Yeah, we don't have. Just doesn't happen. Greetings from Santa Monica, one of my favorite places. Odin Harvey are the first mods I remember when I was started watching. And then Harvey, he was talking about how he's really in a different time zone than I am, and um, he had mentioned that, and then he wanted the wrench back. I need stability. Wrenches aren't just given out. It's just you know, it's not a question of friendship because I try to be friendly with everybody. It's a question of people that have a skill and a independence to do what's right for the chat. They're not here to kiss my bum. Ask Missy. Missy, AK. They give it Cheryl and all of them. And Cheryl said, Rosie, you're on this side of the screen. We're on that side of the screen. You take care of that. Let me scroll up. Jordan, how are you? Got his new place down there, his new home. I hope you're doing well. Tattoo said my father be going into hospice if everyone go. Oh, absolutely, Tattoo crazy. It's tough. Good to see you, Jordan. Days with Jordan Line, happily settling into his new digs down there. I'm going to wear a face diaper in LA. You better believe that. So I'm not going to stop wearing my mask. There's some crazy stuff running around out there. And isn't it funny that we're treating it as things are over and Italy and Germany are getting ready to go into full lockdown again. So you tell me. Yeah, you definitely need skill. That's it. Skunk said you can buy a wrench, huh? Uber Goober, how you doing, babe? I will catch up with you, I promise. Just I've had too damn much on my plate yesterday. You know, I've had a lot of invitations to go on Real Stream News, CJ's panel. I've had to decline them for just too friggin' busy, but we will catch up. Yeah, I'm going to be in LA this week. I'm going to go down Tuesday and I'm coming back on Sunday. I'm going to be hanging with Keb TV. I'm going to be eating some Korean food. And in a couple minutes, I'll go over what I'm going to be focusing on this trip because I don't like to just roll into a place and then just freelance it. I like to know, I like to have some basic idea of things that I want to see and things that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to be doing a lot of recorded video because of quality. Live streaming's great. It's interactive, but until they improve the 5G network, you're not, you know, you have a lot of pixelation and a lot of other things to deal with. So, but the day's coming when that'll be good. Well, thank you. Hey, E-Will. Yeah, summer blonde moment. I have a cute and normal peanuts. Bidding starts at $25. That's right. Yeah, Korean food is good. I want to broaden my reach a little bit to some other rest. The LA dining scene has opened up a lot, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So there's a lot of people dealing with health issues, family members with health issues, life issues, stresses of finance, and things like that. And I always think I'm a person that believes in the power of prayer, and I always think nothing hurts when you say a prayer for those people in need, those family members and individuals here on the chat that have really had stressful times through the pandemic and dealing with lockdown, the loss of family members. Of course, I can relate with the loss of my dad. And it's been a very difficult year. And I think the biggest risk is we just party like it's 1999 and we don't take precautions and be safe out there, okay? The powers that be are trying to engineer a housing crash. Well, interest rates are rising, so sooner or later, through history, the greatest bubble popper of all is rising interest rates, okay? And we don't know how sensitive the current paradigm or the current balance of forces is. We don't know how sensitive they are to the trigger point, the explosion point. Is it 2% interest rate on the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond? Is it 3%? Is it 4%? 5%? Somewhere in there is going to be a trigger point that they're going to be heading for the doors out of bonds and equities. You believe it. Something will be coming down. Something will be coming down the line. We got, yeah, so look for that. Prayer works. Yep. Hey, Pineapple, make sure you give the Korean Army stew a try. I'm going to try to. You need to start drinking hard alcohol and makes your stream a lot more interesting. Well, lucky for you, Skunk Ape. I hope to be drinking some hype beer down in LA. Am I going to get shit faced? I don't know, but we shall see. Yeah, hasn't there always been loss of life? Of course there is. But when you're with a community star walker day in and day out, year in and year out, as I undertake my 8th year here on YouTube, you get a little attached to people. You notice when people aren't in the chat and people start to ask. And never before 2020 did I ever have a thought cross my head that, ooh, maybe some type of massive illness that's striking the world. I never had those thoughts cross my mind before. Now my first thought is, gee, I hope they didn't get stricken with COVID-19 or something like that, because we only have about 11% of the population immunized with at least a first dose right now. SoCal's super mega expensive. So is NorCal. So is NorCal. You know, a bunch of people that got their stim. Yeah, my dad passed away December 28th after a long and protracted battle with COVID-19 from basically Thanksgiving until the end of the year. It was brutal. Yeah, on Earth, of course, Star Walker. But you get plugged into people here. You get to know people's lives. People write me. People send me pictures of themselves with their family, pictures of themselves with their pets and their neighbors at cookouts and on boating trips and cruises and trips to national parks and what they're doing with their conversion vans. Yeah, you get tied into people's lives. You really do, and you really do start to give a damn, and you really do start noticing people when they're different, when they're missing. Webb said Korean Army stew was created by the leftover food the Americans left behind after the Korean War. Hey, Miss Fix-It Elaine. Yeah, LA's going to be good. LA's going to be good. Dennis says the virus scam. Well, it was no scam when it hit my family, Dennis, so... with all due respect, your mileage may vary on that. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, my pop was 91. That's no spring chicken, and he gave a valiant battle. But something's going to take us out sooner or later. That's for That's for sure. There's our quirky girl, the official mascot of the channel. Yep, you do, and I've done okay there, Kitten Cat. I've done a few things on my own. I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, my dad's caregiver has recovered. Will she be going back to work? No. She's been physically altered. She had, I don't know whether I can't remember, she had one or two heart attacks, cardiac events and things. So I think her working career is now over. Yeah, thumbs up are most appreciated if you're enjoying the chat. I'm at the point in my life too, Al. I value friendship above all. Okay, I mean, look, okay, let's talk about it. Let's just put it on the table. All right, let's address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Love on YouTube. Okay. Finding love on YouTube. I was listening to Barbie Girl the other night, and I guess Jeff Pagel was in the background, and they've been together for about a year in the greater Chicago area out there. And she made a very good point. She said, and somebody asked how you stay together, having met on YouTube, is because you don't put your stuff out there on YouTube. And she said we've been very careful to dial it back. It is exceedingly difficult, I think, to find and establish love and romance on these type of platforms, especially if you're a content creator. Because if you're a content creator, you're sort of in the public realm, right? I mean, if you're a side chatter, which I love, and you're not a content creator, you pretty much can go about your daily life and enjoy the anonymity that being a side chatter exclusively gives you on YouTube. But should you hook up with a guy or gal on YouTube, things get a lot more complicated, particularly when you're a content creator, because it's very difficult. I know I couldn't do it, to dial back my public persona. In all the years that Missy Jen was here and all that, and that wasn't a contributing factor to the things that she had going on in her life. But not everybody's going to be down with that public nature of things. And God forbid, if things go bad, okay, take care, freak. If things go bad, then it becomes exploded on the tabloids of YouTube, and then man, it's like Katie, bar the door. Let's see. If you stayed in Northern Carolina, like North Carolina, you would have plenty of dates. Yeah, I like North Carolina. How you doing, Coach? Great match, man. Need to give a shout out to coaches. I mean, she had the Friday night Boyd wrestling, and I was rolling around and just listening in, and I had to pull over on the side of the road. That match between German Lady and Laura Lee. I'll tell you, Coach, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, Kitten Cat. I only meet with other cats on YouTube. Yeah. Friends tend to stay together. So, a content creator meeting a side chatter who's not a content creator, that could probably work. Okay, but two content creators, it's a very difficult combination, because likely they're going to want to continue what they're doing, and they're going to have to figure out how to integrate themselves in the public eye, okay, and how they're going to present themselves, and it becomes a very difficult issue. Egos can get involved, channels and sizes and views. It can become a very thorny issue. So if you put your stuff out there, you can't come. I agree, Tattoo Crazy. If you live a public life, expect people to comment on it. It is what it is. That goes with the territory. If people don't know that by now, it's not like, it's like I told a friend recently. I said, look, Nobody comes knocking on your door and says, "Can I come in and sit down and let's talk about your life?" No. We put our lives out here on YouTube and on the daily, and can't be surprised if it becomes public discussion because it's out there, right? It is out there. What's up, Jesse Scott? Hey, Amelia. Super chat on March 1st. And I didn't even get a notification from YouTube, okay? And this is something that's happened every year with my super chat around March 1st or thereabouts for some reason, just like the Streamlabs crap. Stuff just seems to glitch for my channel here. They're aware of it. I got an update. I guess it was Friday. Got an update from them that it's still in process and be patient. So thank you, Al, for those who aren't subbed up to coaches, and please do so. And also my moderators in their wrestling, the mod squad and things like that. So you can see a lot of that. Baby mama drama. Well, thank you, Paul. Hey, Mary. So make sure to check out Coach. So Amelia, it'll resolve itself. Anybody that really has a hankering to support, there's always the PayPal. I don't beat the drum about that. I am still working right now, happily putting some money in the bank. I'm doing the best I can. But I do take my downtime to go, and it's all good. But if you feel like it, I've had Tammy made a donation the other day. There's always the PayPal, which is in I think it's in the description box, and it comes up periodically. Well, thank you, Amelia. That's just fine. It's not always about all the money and all that. It's about coming on, and as I've told people before, they may laugh about it, may not believe it, but I've never missed a stride. Whether monetization's been on or off, I've never missed a beat in exactly what I do here on YouTube, and I never would. Okay, long before I ever pulled my first check, I was pounding hard and uploading my life for 2 years. Okay, because I love doing it. So that's it. Oh, well, thank you, Quirky. Yeah, it's just comfortable. Got the fireplace on. The rain came in. It got a little bit of nasty. The burning bed. Thank you. Hey, yeah, man, how you doing? Hey, Sharon. And I got to tell you, Coach, and I got to give props where it's due. Having Yeah, man, is as a color commentator on the Boyd Wrestling, man, he really does an excellent job on the color on that. Good for you, yeah, man. Why don't you look at the Gateway video, Dennis, which you would have had to seen before you subscribe to the channel, and it'll tell you everything that the channel's about. Hey, Kaylee, how are you? I'm going to Vegas with you. Did you get to visit with Missy Jen much? Missy Jen and I communicate every single day. Okay? Every single day without fail. Always ending with a kiss. Okay. She will be one of the best friends in my life forever. So that will never, ever change. Regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few who've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every byway, but more than this, la da da. Honey Badger, what's up? Thumbs up are most appreciated. Good to see you, Jerry, as always. And thank you for your wonderful comments. And I'm lucky to have her in my life, too. YouTube was never as significant in Missy Jen's repertoire of her life as it was in mine. So I think she's at a good place right now. She's had a lot of very serious family issues to deal with in the way of health struggles and things like that, and she is womaned up to that. and handled that as you would expect Missy Jen to do. Well, thank you, Marcio. I appreciate that. Grazie, grazie. I try to watch all your lives. Thank you, Tattoo Crazy. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so she's doing good. She does stop in once in a while. She's of course in a different time zone, and she's kind of an early to bed kind of gal. Everybody adjust okay to daylight savings time. Spring forward, fall back. If I fall back, I still float. Okay. Hey Kay, everything is doing good. I should be a cabaret singer. Okay, how you doing? Four scores on the road. All right, got all kinds of hope that everything's going good for you. Always looking for guest live commentary. Yeah, man, I could never do what you do. I don't. I didn't. Wrestling, pro wrestling for me ended about 1970. Okay, I'm in a totally different era than you are. I wasn't a party to the mid 80s and the 90s when the Hulk Hogan's and the Resurgence and the Ed McMahon's and Vince McMahon, I mean, and all the Resurgence. I remember his father and all them at the end of my year, where you had Chief Jay Strongbow, Bobo Brazil, Andre the Giant, and I would only watch that on a Saturday afternoon if nothing else was really going on. So it was not, wrestling was never really, I mean, I much rather watch baseball, basketball, football, more of the organized type of sports. I got built-in flotation devices. Fourscore, you're always welcome. We've met before, my friend. You'd always be welcome. We got the Mandy girl in here tonight. Is that the one and only Mandy? The Mandy, let me scroll up here and see if that is in. There she is, the Mandy girl. How you doing tonight, girl? Vince McMahon. Yeah, Vince McMahon. I mean, I remember the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. Listen up, McMahon, and listen good. We'll be down in Baltimore to defend the title at the Baltimore Civic Center on March 8th, 1974. I remember all that. Yeah, we got the Mandy and got out of prison. She was acquitted for first manslaughter and all that. So, I mean, it was just kind of a different era for me. And, and I never got really into that second wave, mainly because when that second wave was really going strong, I was overseas, um, and watching horse racing in Hong Kong or soccer in China and some kind of weird Chinese game where they try to hit each other in the nuts with a stone or something. I don't know what the hell it was. Everybody would drink some shitty beer and just go out there and see who was the toughest, right? It was like the early Iron Man competition. Who could take a full, like the kick me in the nuts guy down in Las Vegas. I'm doing well, Mandy. I'm always honored to see you in here. You remember those old wrestlers, Sheila? Yeah, that was really that wrestling's been around forever. Oh, well, thank you, sweet pineapple. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, I've never seen wrestling in person myself either. So, I don't know. It would probably be pretty good. But if you need somebody to be the ring girl or something like that, yeah, man. How you doing, Vicky? I'll be your ring girl right out there, and that's what the hell I can do out there. Yeah, it's called. I mean, I saw all kinds of weird. I don't know if it's called the blue balls or the red balls after you take a couple hits with that stuff, and it kind of hurts when you miss too, and you get hit in the head. It's not the best shot with a 4 pound rock. A lot of wrestling, I think, is you have to be very athletic on the par with being a ballet and very coordinated and timed, and it's all training and it's a lot of show. Do people get hurt? Yeah. People really can get hurt out there, I'll tell you. But that's usually, I think, when stuff goes wrong or people get a little carried away and all that. Uh, Dickler Bruiser, yeah, shake the girlfriends. That's it. That's exactly right. So shaking. So yeah, man, it's you're doing a great job. I can't imagine having a better doing a better thing, a better sidekick gig than to be the color commentator on. Because I don't know all those moves, the suplex, the reverse camel clutch, the ball buster, twister, all those kind of things. Yeah, Mandy needs to step into the. She needs to step into the ring too. Hey, Charla, how are you? Good to see you tonight. So I have, as I said at the beginning, I've suspended my ban search pending something. I'm going to need to just have to score a hell of a deal somewhere when somebody needs to get rid of something quickly. So I've now closed the door on that without any regrets. And I will continue for the time being to just get by with what I got. Hey, Risa, how you doing? I'm sorry you got a migraine, honey. I hope that you feel better. Yeah, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I remember that. Tattoo said, my grandfather loved Sunday morning wrestling. When Grandma walked in the room, he would hurry and switch to church services. Our wrestling in Baltimore always came in on Saturday afternoons. But I'm going to tell you what I found more entertaining was roller derby. Okay, I thought roller derby was pretty damn wild, and I think the Baltimore team was called the Baltimore Wildcats. I think that was called, and I always thought it would really be cool to be a jammer, right, or something like that. And I especially like to see the ladies out there. I mean, they would really deliver the hits with the elbows and things like that. And you'd really see people go over the rails at high speed. Now, that, my friends, that was a hell of a lot of fun to watch that on TV. The training takes over, even though it's crippled into script, yeah, it data reference. Yeah, I think it is, Jody. I would tend to agree with that, you know. Yeah, roller derby was just wild, man. I just remember the Baltimore Wildcats, and the Philadelphia girls would come in and they just set up the wooden rink, and it would just be like mayhem down there trying to break through the ranks and be a jammer. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, James Caan in Rollerball, exactly. Remember that LA team was called the Thunderbirds. Yeah, roller derby girls had cool names too. And in the city of Santa Rosa and in the area here, they did revive for a while. I think until the pandemic hit, they had a girls roller derby team. We have a place called Cal Skate that's a big wooden indoor roller rink down in Roner Park. And I think that they were called the Crushers or something like that for grape crushers. And I remember going in one time when they were finishing practicing and just looking up at these girls coming. I moved out of the way. Go right ahead. Can I have your autograph? Right? They were rough and tumble. Yeah, roller derby. Yeah, I could have been a pretty good jammer. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I think that was. I remember that the James Caan, they had the Bay Bombers and all that. I really enjoyed roller derby because I think it was a little harder to stage that kind of thing. I think that was more of a contest of athleticism and just brute force and being able to take a hit. That's for sure. Now I see some people. I want to talk about if I were a roller derby, call myself Violent Blue. You'd probably call yourself Violent Blue, huh? Isn't that a better name than roller derby? Violent Blue coming through the line. Roller derby was the best. I saw them in Syracuse. They tried to bring it back a few years ago. I don't think it stuck in MSA. I can tell you what, I would not be surprised, given the right timing and everything like that, if roller derby didn't come back in a big way. Because I'm going to tell you, by the mid 1970s and early 1980s, nobody in this country really gave a damn about wrestling. Okay, yeah, wrestling was all but extinct. Okay, until the big promotional, Vince McMahon and the son took over and really understood, really had a good gift of promotion and all that. So, and it does take promotion. Yeah, I could see being a jammer out there, right? Flipping over the rail, right? Hey Sandra, how are you? I would call myself violent tendencies. Yeah, called the penetrator in rollerball. That would be it. I never remember. I can't remember if they had mixed teams, men and women. I can't really remember. I think they would send the men out and they'd have the women's match, and it was like two out of three of each of those divisions. Senior citizen, roller derby, no helmets, no thanks. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. No, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to pass on the senior citizen roller derby. Not something I'm going to get a ticket. If it wasn't for New York City and Madison Square Garden, the WWE would have been nothing. That's what I say. It was the right place at the right time, and it caught fire. There's no reason in my mind that that could not actually happen again. With a sport like roller derby, you juice it up, you put LED lights under the skates and light it up under the rink. I mean, you have a hell of a thing. At halftime, have the big monster truck, crushing a few cars. They'd be packing them in. Decent prices on beer. No reason you couldn't have a hell of a Friday night at the roller derby. I would. So that'd be a nice thing. Hi, Candy Cane. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Wishing me all the best. USA Network played roller derby back in the day. Yes, they did, Charlie Brown. So that really's taken me back to the 60s and early 70s. And, we didn't have video. Well, there was Pong, which once I played Pong, I declared there's no future in video gaming. Moving a paddle up and down. And I said, this ain't going to go anywhere. This has no future, right? It ain't ever going to happen. Just like in 1975, 76 in high school. And I got on that digital equipment mainframe computer there at Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, the first real computer installed in any high school in Baltimore City. You had to punch on IBM punch machines a stack of punch cards about an inch thick just to have the thing add 2 plus 2 plus 8. And you know what I declared? There's no future in this stuff called computers. And that was the time that we stopped using slide rules. You probably never even seen a slide ruler in the Texas Instruments, the little LED read, the LED readouts came out and all that. I'm giving my age. I don't know Mother Nature, never heard of her. So yeah, thumbs up are most appreciated, guys. If we could get to 100. Hey Terry, circle dot now. That's it. How you doing, honey? Good to see you. Hello, Jennifer. Yeah, I'm a badass, Hector, aren't I? Pong was like putting the Monopoly game. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Bill. I'm not a great future prognosticator on that. I just looked up at that mainframe. It had its own air-conditioned room, with all the glass and the steel, and it's just like something out of 2001 Space Odyssey. Dun, dun. We just look at that thing like, doo, doo, doo. And I said, there's no fucking way that this computing is ever going to take off if people need to do this stuff. Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC. Gigi invented the abacus. I don't know about that, so I think the Chinese. Hey, Lori. And speaking of, let me tell you what, Jesse Scott. This really blew me away when I lived in China. You have the merchants and people in wet markets and not so much the commercial grocery stores, the welcome supermarkets and the parking shops and places like that. But if you buy vegetables in the market, I mean, you could not believe the way that these merchants could use an abacus. I mean, it was almost like watching somebody in one of those old-fashioned Burroughs adding machines. I mean, it was incredible to see somebody. Uh, you just can't even believe the speed with which they could do things on that abacus. It was unbelievable. And I mean, who in the hell? You say abacus today, and here, a lot of people don't even know what the hell it is. So, heading to LA on Tuesday. Heading to LA on Tuesday. I had a case for my slide rule that clipped in my bed. I had my slide rule too. Yeah, had my slide rule too. I've never seen one Monopoly game winner that wasn't a banker. Yeah, the Sony Walkman, that was cool. That was all cool stuff, guys. LA, thank you for the segue to LA. I like to go to. I need a little mini vacation, so I'm going to go to LA on Tuesday, and I'm going to come back on Sunday. Now, lucky me, LA had a little stint of bad weather. Well, they had some damn torrential rains down in SoCal, and quite a bit of flooding and a few mudslides here and then. I'm going down Tuesday, and the weather is going to be clear the whole time I'm down there. Clear, sunny, should be close to 70 or thereabouts every day. So it's going to be beautiful, beautiful weather. Rosie, you went in China. Did you go? Yes, I went to the Great Wall, but do bear in mind this. And then I'll get into LA because Susan Sharon brought this up. I went to the Great Wall multiple times, but I only went to the real Great Wall one time. When you leave Beijing, and I'm sure the road system has improved since then, you go out, it takes about 40 minutes to go out. And you end up to a place called Ba Dao Ling. Okay, and you get off the bus, or in our case, we had a driver that would drive us out there. And you have the Ming tombs, the Ming Dynasty tombs. And then on the right, there's the Great Wall. You pay your 35, 50 cents or whatever. You got all the merchandise hawkers. It's like, it's like Coney Island there, right? Everybody t-shirts. Oh, Jemma Pialian, Gaini Hao de Jiachen, Lila, Nikan, Albahao. You have all the merchants there hawking stuff, mini Great Walls and beautiful little panda bears and all that kind of crap. And then you walk up on the Great Wall, and it's pretty steep. But what they don't tell you is you're not walking on the real Great Wall. You're walking on something that was reconstructed from blocks that you've got to remember. Genghis Khan, the great warrior from the steppes of Mongolia and stuff, was always raiding China. And they were always tearing rocks out of the Great Wall and building other structures and things like that until about the late 1949 when the People's Republic of China came in. And they knew eventually one day they would be having a tourism industry or something like that. So they went about reconstructing a Great Wall there. And you can see it in the distance go over the hills. But only in other areas of China do you see the real original untouched Great Wall, and most of it is in a state of total decay because people have taken just parts of it to use for other projects. But it's still a cool experience to walk up there, and still a cool experience to go up there and see that. So I went out there multiple times, and when people would come to visit me, yeah, we'd always go out to the Great Wall, and I didn't tell them it was, like a Disneyland version of that. So, okay, but don't be dissuaded from going out there. LA, gone down to LA, as I said, the weather is going to be great. Little, maybe not Chamber of Commerce weather, but it'll be cool mornings and then it'll be sunny in the afternoon. I would like to do a couple things. I have a few things that I want to do on my agenda. I'm going to be all over LA, darling, all over LA. I want to enjoy the food scene in LA. The simple, not the high end food scene, but the simple, if we can expand our repertoire. Yes, I'm looking forward to chicken in a bag again and drinking some Korean beer. We'll probably do that the first night or something like that. But the outdoor dining is open again, and they may have the indoor dining open on a limited basis. I just don't know. But I do want to. How you doing, Emerald? I do want to hit the food scene there, and Kev TV is usually a pretty good guide for that. In my time when I'm not with him, I would also like to do some metal detecting because I have discovered that the streets of LA are just chock block full of coins, and I mean nice coins. Right. Last time I went down to LA, I was pulling up wheat pennies and I found a nice 1912 San Francisco mint $50. Beautiful chunk of silver. I gave that to Chris, Rich Life of Road Trips. So I know there's good pickings because there's very few people that do what I do, urban metal detecting out there, okay, on the streets of LA because you're encountering rats and human feces and just garbage on the streets and things like that. But there's been a lot of living there and a lot of people walking and tromping in and out of cars and things. So that, hey Pennywise, how you doing? So there should be some pretty good metal detecting. All of LA is gone red. That's cool. How you doing, North? Good to see you. So that's what I would like to do. Yeah, thank you. We went over 100 times tonight. So food, not going crazy, still keeping the carbs low. Try to do some metal detecting. And then I'm going to make the focus of this trip because I've had a lot of requests, murder and mayhem in LA. So I've got a few things lined up that I want to run past. Most of them will be recorded content, but I think that you will enjoy the stories. I think you'll go to story. I think you'll enjoy what people do. We all know about murder and mayhem and the high profile deaths and overdoses and et cetera, et cetera. But what I think is interesting is what happens afterward. When people still have to live in those neighborhoods. For example, in Petaluma, and you guys have been along, multiple times I've done video coverage of the Polly Klaas home in Petaluma, California. And for those of you who may not be aware, Polly Klaas was the gal, I don't know, over 25, 26 years ago, was kidnapped from her bedroom window in October by Richard Allen Davis, a drifter who had found his way up Highway 101 and into the town of Petaluma. And he snatched her out of there, and she was having like a sleepover, and he scared the other girls and said, if you make a peep, I'm going to do away with Polly. Well, he made off with her, and eventually, unfortunately, they found her body in a ditch up Highway 101. And it was a real landmark case because it kicked off the Polly Klaas Foundation. It was the first search mission that employed fax machines and technology to get images and things out worldwide. But I came to do videos afterward, and I had a pretty bad encounter with a renter that was renting that place afterward. They had, one time I went by, there was a huge school bus that they mounted something on top of it right in front of the house so people couldn't easily take pictures of it. And I think the time I went, that was gone, but the woman who was renting came out. Her son is flipping me the finger, and we end up calling the police on the live stream, and the police come, and I'm able to continue because the Bain Act allows me to film from public places and all that. Not that I'm disturbing anybody about that. But the point is the aftermath. When what happens to those famous homes. And I'm going to describe some of the lengths that people go to try to camouflage and change things so that you don't have that looky-loo influence of people coming around afterward. Because let me tell you, there is a real aftermath that occurs in a lot of these situations. So, yeah, you remember that murder? It made People magazine cover and everything. The movie Zeitgeist, I don't think I've seen that one yet. So, thank you, Liz. Buy a gun and teach her how to use it. How you doing, Craig? Good to see you. Poor innocent children. And I'll tell you the most heart-rending thing of that whole situation, and I've said it before, was Richard Allen Davis, who was a real creeper, a guy with absolutely no moral compass, no ethical bearing whatsoever. When that judge in that case, on the day of sentencing, asked Richard Allen Davis, did he have anything to say before sentence was passed? He got up to his feet. He turned around to the class family in the courtroom, seated in the first row. He looked them right in the eye, and he squarely lifted both fingers and flipped them off in that courtroom. Well, today Richard Allen Davis is a longtime resident in San Quentin, about 30 miles further down the road from Petaluma, where he is serving a life sentence. There's weird people out there. Weird people out there. My guess is this drifter came into town. He heard giggling and carrying on, and the girls and they're enjoying their slumber party or whatever. These were 12-year-old girls, and that probably attracted his attention. And the rest is history. Sharon Tate. I'm not sure, Bill Ellis, what I'm going to do. I have a few places picked out. I'm not going to make it all about that because I do want to do some other coverage too of LA because if possible, I'd like to get down and cover, a few things on the Pacific Coast Highway and, some other mysterious, some starlets that died in very mysterious conditions and things. But I do want to relax a little bit too. But it's not going to be warm enough to be on the beach and all that. I'm not going to go back to Venice Beach. It was too smelly last time, reeked of urine and feces, and I don't feel like going back and dealing with that mayhem again. Well, Star Walker, the only thing I can say about Richard Allen Davis, the murderer of Polly Klaas, is that I figure he's probably had somewhat of a rough go of it in lockup in prison. Okay, to the point where he's probably been in a protective custody, protected area where they put child abusers, molesters, etc. Within those places. So Sharon Tate's home, yeah. So there's a lot of things down there to look about. Am I going to walk down Rodeo Drive? No. And I'll have some people say, "Hey, you're going to Rodeo Drive and all that." People don't want to see Rodeo Drive. Despite what you think, Robin Leach lifestyles of the rich and famous, people don't care about that. Okay, it's been proven over my many years of videography and uploading 10,000 videos that every time I get it in my head that it might be nice to go in this really fancy pants neighborhood, guess what? Nobody gives a damn. Why? Because nothing really goes on over there. You don't see any people on the street. There's nobody to talk to. They're not going to talk to you. People want to go where the action is. They want to go where stuff happens on the streets. They want to go down to where the rubber meets the road, where maybe your hair on the back of your neck stands up a little bit. Okay, the Skid Rows, the Comptons, which I've now checked off of my list of having accomplished. But I tell you what, we will do. We will be going back to the Cecil Hotel again. Because over the last, since I re-uploaded and pulled that segment out of the Cecil Hotel out of that live stream that night, I've had more people write me about that particular topic and would I be willing to go back to the Hotel Cecil again and do a live stream. So you can bet on that. And then MacArthur Park, which was absolutely horrendous. And if you wonder what I'm talking about, make sure that you will be on the stream. I may actually make this recorded content. I don't know. But there's some really, this is the most rat infested 2 square blocks or whatever, 4 square blocks I've ever seen in my life. All right, it's an absolute disgrace to the city of Los Angeles. It's so far out of control. It's just, I can't understand how people live like that. So Tattoo Crazy, we will be reprising the Hotel Cecil Chooch. If I'm lucky. There's always some people hanging around. That's an extremely dangerous area down there on Main Street. If I'm lucky, we may find some people. I wish I'd talked more to this guy that was laying down on the ground next to the building, because he actually mentioned that he knew Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. I consider it the most notorious and soulless killer in the history of mass murderers in the United States, who lived at that hotel. There's more stories to be told there. I think Weapon at the Hotel Cecil is LA's most notorious death spot. Starting in 1935, built in the 1920s, they tried to open it as a higher end hotel, and the Great Depression hit, and it slid into a flop house. And if you want to see a great movie rendition of it, go see Barton Fink. Okay, and it's a great movie outtake of life at the Hotel Cecil. All right, 1935, the parade of deaths began. A Marine jumped to his death. There's been starlets that jumped to their death. There's been people offed. In my understanding, it's the #1 death location in LA. And what really surprises me is you don't get an idea from watching the Netflix series. The place is massive. Massive, right? On a scale of the 1920s, 700 rooms. 700. Can you imagine? Once it became a flop house, could you imagine managing that place and dealing with that mayhem, that death? People being pitched off the roof, people being thrown off fire escapes, and people having bullets put through their head and strangled and found hanging on water pipes. I mean, God. It's just a ghastly place. Just a totally ghastly place. So be careful. Well, I'm not going alone. But if you're not going into the back alleys, you're not getting the whole experience, okay? I mean, that's the bottom line. You can stand in front and talk bullshit, but until you're down there late at night, cruising around that hellhole of a street, Main Street at that area valley, you're not getting the whole flavor of that deal. You're not getting the whole flavor of that. So I'm not really sure. I'm half tempted to do the videography of it, but I know people want to see the live stream of that. It should be a doozy. Yeah, it's creepy and terrifying, and it just shows you Monterey Park. I lived in you lived near there until a few months ago. Wow. 200 bedrooms in the house. It's said nobody will buy. I mean, it's a freak show. I mean, guys, when you look in the front doors, and of course it's closed because they're trying to figure out what the hell to make it Section 8. I mean, maybe good Section 8 housing. But when you look in those doors and you see that big marble front desk, and you look behind there, and there's hundreds of little mail slots in there. And then you have to think to yourself, there's another building the same size of this front building behind this, which makes this a totally massive, massive complex down here. Melanie said, Rosie, can you try this time to back around the gate the other way? You see around back and back there. I will try to do. For some reason, there's some, and I'm not going to bullshit you guys. It's a little terrifying when you have rats running over your feet. It almost looks on that back alley like a rat superhighway there. It's scary. One of those little bastards could run right up your leg, right? I mean, it's scary, and there's disease, hantavirus, and other stuff down there. There's guys laying on pieces of cardboard behind there. You don't know what frame. I thought a guy was dead there last time. I'm asking his buddy, or is this guy dead? His buddy's like, I don't know, man. His pants are half down, and he's just, it's you got to be a kind of a little lucky so you don't hit into a bad situation. But I think we'll do a little more around the area. See, one thing I'm reticent about is Kev TV is a family guy, okay? For me, I've done my duty and things like that, okay? So I'm not particularly worried. My legacies are all taken care of. But I always have to think twice about putting somebody else in a potentially situation where they might not come home. Okay, and that's why I need to be damn careful and think about the things I do. I had the same idea with Mr. Z when we got in way over our head in the Tenderloin down in San Francisco. We were so far over our heads down there. You don't think I felt guilty after that? I mean, that's the number one for potentially most violent chooch I ever had. Okay, and I've not forgotten that to this day. Yeah, he did look deceased, didn't he? So he really looked dead. So we'll be back there again, and it's just, you got to be careful where you're stepping, because it's a river of urine and feces back there, and it's just, it's bad news. It's just a place. It's a godless environment. It's just absolute total depravity and just devoid of any kind of it's about as far from it's a hellhole. And you can feel the spirits. You come around to that back alley and you can literally feel that temperature drop about 10 degrees back there. And don't ask me why. I don't know. See, these are the things that they don't cover off in the Netflix series. The reality is, they focus on the Lisa Lamb and that terrible situation and her decomposing in the water tank tragically and, all that. But there's a lot of stuff around there that makes it terrible. Let's see. Our company just did a renovation on an old hotel near the American border. 6 bodies were found in the walls. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, I'll always be careful. So we'll be careful. I'll always have my pepper spray, and it'll always be safety first. You hate. I mean, the reality is, people have asked me, "Are you afraid of getting a gun in your face or a gun in your side or something like that? A pistol in your face?" The reality is, when you're that low and you're that down and out, and you're sleeping on the street on a piece of cardboard on a back alley with rats literally running over top of you, you don't have a weapon. Okay, because if you had one, you sold it long ago. So that's not an area where you're likely to run into that type of violence. What's up, J.A.? Yeah, happy seeing me get that pink pepper spray out. I wouldn't even go down there without that. It's just you got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to stay focused. You cannot look people in the eye too much. Remember, when you're walking around with this, people know exactly what the hell you're doing. All right? I don't have spy camera, Google glasses, and stuff like that, okay? I mean, it's out there. All right? And number one, that takes a lot of balls to walk down not only in that destitute area of Main Street in LA, but also the streets of Tijuana with all the working girls. They know exactly what the hell you're doing down there. But therein lies the ability to get the real feel to you guys of exactly what the situation is and give you that feeling of the streets, the immediate feeling of the streets. Jody said, I can't imagine the stress of being the front desk clerk at the Cecil. The cumulative damage inevitably did. That woman was there for a year. Hi Dee, how you doing, sweetie dog? That Cecil has now passed into a legend, and it just goes to show you that the scene of tragedy for 80 years can become a fantastic tourist attraction for the city of LA. Will they capitalize on it? Should you capitalize on gruesome things like that? I don't know. We have companies that run grave line tours that take people out to cemeteries, that take them to the places John Belushi overdosed over here, blah, blah, blah. To me, it's no different. It's a flop house. It existed. It has a history. But you know what? LA and the leadership of LA, Mayor Garcetti, Gil Garcetti, is got to be the worst major large city mayor in, if not the world, then certainly the United States. Because he has let that city go right down the shitter. I've said many times they need to develop a visionary board of 10 leaders of that city, as if they were going to host the Olympic Games, and have 10 leaders just put together a vision for 2030 of what they'd like it to be and start building towards that vision. Because right now they're in big trouble. We make money, yeah. So I mean, I would go on a tour like that. But that's just me. Given a choice between going on a tour that's going to take me to the Bellagio fountains in Vegas and one that's going to go into back alleys and the old blown out motels of Vegas, yeah, I'm going to book the back alley tour. Especially when the tour guide issues everybody a little can of protective pepper spray to take with them. I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be all right. Yeah, out here tonight. Right? It's the way it is. What's up, Elmer? What's up? It's sad. You go down Hollywood Boulevard these days and it's tragic. I have a cinematic video called A Requiem for Hollywood Boulevard that you all should see there. And all the stars, the Hollywood stars on the Hollywood Boulevard, all the stones cracking up around them. It's just, it's a terrible neighborhood now, and it's just, there's nothing to see anymore. The Chinese theater, the old Grumman's Chinese theater, they've ruined that. Okay, I don't know what the hell it is now, but you can't even go in anymore and just look at they've wrecked the city. They've wrecked it. Melanie says that gate out back, someone jumped and landed in top and impaled themselves. Creepy knowing you were right there. I'm just telling you, Melanie, it's all bad news around there. That fence in the back. Now, I will say this, if the fire escape ladder was down, would I climb up the fire escape ladder and look around and put a flashlight in the window? Yeah, I would. I would do that. I'd hope the son of a bitch wouldn't come unhooked from the side of the building, but I would go up on that and take a peek around up there. No questions asked on that. But I'm not going to climb over a gate, right? Because they got some really spiky gates around that place. Did you see, guys, a famous character on the Superman guy? Yes, I did see the Superman guy. Yeah. Hey, Luis, Hollywood just sucks now. You think the movie studios care? How many movies are really filmed in that area anymore? How many movies are filmed in Canada and down in Mexico and places like that are cheaper to film? Right? These movie studios don't give a damn what happens on Hollywood Boulevard, but I'll tell you that the town of Hollywood better give a damn down there. They better do something. I spend the night in a haunted house and record everything. That's right, Double Shot. That's exactly right. It's like a tour of Alcatraz, Jesse Scott. See, the problem with Alcatraz, Jesse, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Nobody ever got executed at Alcatraz. Fact. It was a federal penitentiary across the water within sight of the, well, probably, no, probably not in sight of that, probably a little bit around the peninsula there. From Alcatraz is San Quentin, which has been California's death row. And I use the term loosely because ain't nobody been executed here. And I think the last one was the year I moved here in 1998. And I haven't heard of anybody else being done over there. But Alcatraz, nobody ever died there. Okay. You might have had the escape from Alcatraz, the Clint Eastwood movie. Those guys may or may not have lived. I don't know. See, it's easy to speculate when you watch on TV and you see on a screen or in a movie theater. But until you actually stand out there, either on the Golden Gate Bridge or going out on a hornblower cruise that takes you under the Golden Gate Bridge, which I did a few years ago, and takes you around Alcatraz Island, you can't appreciate how cold the water is there. It's probably like a constant 52 degrees. And there are sharks galore, great white sharks and stuff like that, because the bay empties out all that stuff with the tide, and all those sharks just sit offshore waiting to munch anything that the tide brings out there. It's a very, very dangerous place. But what they do have, though, is the visual look of that place on the rock. They called it the rock up there, and it's a ghostly looking thing. And I think they used to have ghost things where you could stay overnight there and all that. So they never did find them, right? But I'm not surprised that they wouldn't find them because the currents are so strong. If you didn't check the tides properly, and if the tide was going out, there's no way you could swim from Alcatraz to, say, Angel Island, which was the immigration point, like the Ellis Island in the west, or get to shore. The current's too damn strong coming underneath the Golden Gate there. I mean, you would have been swept out, and you would have been shark food guaranteed, or you would have died of hypothermia. If you go up on the Golden Gate Bridge on a July afternoon, and if you're in a t-shirt, you could get hypothermia. It's that damn cold up there. So, still an open FBI case. Lots of strong currents there, Jesse, because you have a great body of water in San Francisco Bay that's pulling through a very small, the Golden Gate there, the very small mouth of the, where the bridge spans San Francisco and Marin County there. Yeah, so Ask me if I think they survived it. No, I don't think that they survived it. I don't think they had any understanding of how cold the water was. And I think that the rubber raft that they tried to construct probably failed rather quickly under pressure of the weight. And I think that they just went out and that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Not that long ago, apparently, one of the escapees sent a letter to the FBI taunting him. I wonder, Weapon, if the FBI wasn't being trolled though. So I don't know. So remember that a guy died building. A lot of people died building the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's such a huge suicide spot that they finally had to, they're slowly installing safety netting on the sides of it. So. Hey Bronson, how you doing? So yeah, Whirlpool just outside. There's just no way you can survive. The water's too cold. I don't care how good you think your skills are at uh, joy rigging some rubber raft together out of a prison and getting the hell out over the gates without puncturing it and blowing it up and getting it into the water and having that thing seaworthy. Come on, man, this is. It would be the equivalent of trying to say that prison hooch is like on the same par as Jim Beam, right? It's there's no way. It's just no way. So I lived in the Bay Area in the '80s, even in the heat of summer. It was always freezing, always freezing. You know that, Glenda. Mark Twain said the coldest day I ever spent in my life was a summer day in San Francisco, and it's just that marine influence coming down from Alaska is so damn cold, and that water never gets warm, right? And you just die. The rubber was thicker back then, Weapon, but how could you? Um, the glues weren't good. Where could you get the proper cements in the prison? Well, you made do, right? And you're doing it surreptitiously in the dark. And come on, man, you can't tell me they're going to make something that's going to float, that they're going to paddle away and it's going to be stable enough for two people without the pressure popping out the sides. Give me a break. No way. Yeah, that's the equivalent of what it is. Star Walker is floating on the sea with a cheap love doll, right? Do you remember? Hey, Miss Pedwina, do you remember when they had huge gaps on the sidewalk and that shop? Yeah, I do. Now they have metal plates to span those gaps, those big expansion gaps, because that bridge is a very long bridge. Okay, it looks sometimes short with the photography tends to shorten depth of field, but it's a long bridge and it expands a lot in the summer and contracts and all that. So, uh, so I don't know. I certainly remember that. The water is always freezing. It's never ever going to warm up down there. So the Hotel Cecil is definitely on the agenda. Um, MacArthur Park. I think about metal detecting in MacArthur Park, but seriously, I have to wonder about health issues of digging in soil that is contaminated by rats. And I don't mean a few rats, I mean hundreds of rats. And rats that don't even care if you see them or not. Okay, they just go about their business. You have something called hantavirus, which is fatal to people. Human feces, human urine, you know, people bathing in a putrid pond, and I'm not sure I want to dig in that environment. So it'll probably be a nighttime visit again, and you know, it's pretty wretched. I mean, look at the just look at the restrooms there. I mean, I'm just astounded. Um, at the task that lies ahead of the city of Los Angeles of cleaning themselves up. Made that sound romantic, huh? It is a beautiful bridge. I mean, it's one of the engineering wonders of the world. It's beautiful. The color is perfect. It blends into the Marin County cliffs there. I mean, it's gorgeous. You get the beautiful views into San Francisco. And let's face it, San Francisco is the most beautiful, picturesque city in the United States, the way it's situated, all the big hills and cable cars and Golden Gate Bridge and the Victorian home. It's a real Chinatown. It's a real place of real beauty. Just the dust from when you've been digging around and probably, yeah, you could get sick from that. And you know, Craig, I'm not willing to do that, and I'm not convinced that there's a big bounty to be found there anyway. I think the bigger bounty's out on the regular streets of LA, particularly the older sections where there's still some grass remaining. And I've proven that by the things that I've dug up in a very limited time I've spent metal detecting. I have just been thrilled that LA is just loaded. Okay, loaded. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Miss Padwina. Hantavirus is related to the bubonic plague. Be careful. So I don't know if I want to kick up dust. And it's not just that. I mean, I can't convey to you. I wish we had smell-o-vision on YouTube that you could have unleashed on you the putrid smell of fetid urine and feces as you're walking around that park. And you get to the statue of Douglas MacArthur looking over that putrid lake in the middle there. And I just look up at that statue of that great man, Douglas MacArthur. You know, I shall return, right? And hero of the Philippines and the landing of Incheon in the Korean War and the battles all across the Pacific. And to have that guy, that statue, look out over that mess, I think it's the biggest disgrace. And I don't know why veterans groups just don't, you know, get together and just demand that, you know, something change down there. It's like Echo Park Lake, Echo Lake Park down there, where I did the video on Sister Amy Semple McPherson, the first real big radio preacher, and the Angelus Temple. That's turning into the same thing down there. So right around from where the steps are from Laurel and Hardy's great feature short 1932 Oscar-winning short film called The Music Box. What do you do with your detector finds? I do videos on them, Weapon. Just put metal detecting and you'll see periodically I update all of my finds and show people what I found. Lots of videos. So thank you, Elmer, for popping in. So it's going to be a good time in Los Angeles. We'll find some other things to do too. Kev is a family guy. I'd like to make sure, you know, he has his time, especially during the day. You know, he's responsible for, you know, making sure his kids eat and do their schoolwork and all that kind of thing. So I kind of do my own thing in that period of time. So, but there will be good stuff. Who made a song about Echo Park? Well, that's where the Laurel and Hardy's best film, in my opinion, was done there, and it was also you know, I showed people the Angelus Temple and Sister Amy Semple McPherson's residence, and her history is just amazing, and it's what the movie Elmer Gantry was loosely based on. Her life and her escapades, and it's just phenomenal. I'm looking forward to being able to go into there when they finally open that up. Diggin' Brit, yeah, Diggin' Brit. I followed her videos a bit. One of my favorite choo-choos. Yeah, the metal detecting is good, D. It's great. And I think being able to stay down there for a week or two, maybe just get a room somewhere to rent for a week or two and just focus a whole week or two on metal detecting before it gets too damn hot down there might be a lot of fun. So dropped in for a bit. Thank you, Molly. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So we got that to look forward to too. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you. If you've not thumbs up, I'm going to go ahead. It's been a great stream tonight. You know what I'm going to be trying to do coming up? and I generally just go about an hour and a half or so, and I got a few things I need to do to make sure I can be efficient with what I do tomorrow. So I'm going to close it out. Thank my moderators and all you. Yeah, we're going to have some good times and some fun stuff coming up in LA. I'm going to be happy to see Cab TV. I think we're going to try to get a 12 pack and do a little drinking in Chinatown down there. And that's always fun in the nighttime, see if that's coming back to life and all that. So make sure also you're subbed up to the Rosie Murphy channel. The link is over there. And if you do choose, if you care to, people have asked me, and I'm not one to beat the drum. I do have a PayPal, it's in the description box, but not necessary as a condition of your being here. So, my D girl, nice to see you. Shamaid, thanks for coming in. And Lip and Laura, good to see you. Laura Wright, Jennifer N, thank you for always being in here. Miss Padwina, yeah, we still have some more stuff coming up tomorrow. So, yeah, I had a little bit of this old food from Dollar Tree from 2014 or whatever. It didn't really sit too good with me tonight. So, all right, guys. See you tomorrow. And thank you so much for the thumbs up. And take care.